Let's talk for a minute about tariffs, trade deals, uh, and trade deficits. And let's start in reverse order. Nobody has yet explained why a trade deficit that this country has with other countries is bad. What it generally means is, for example, if we have a trade deficit of $1 trillion, what that means is citizens of the United States have been able to buy goods at a total cost of $1 trillion less than what they would have bought or been able to buy otherwise, because goods are cheaper with lower labor costs or in some cases higher productivity abilities from other countries. So trade deficits, nobody can explain to me why they're bad, except nobody likes the word deficit. Although we might notice that our budget deficits are in the $37 trillion range. So then let's talk about tariffs. Let's assume that we're getting income from tariffs. Who pays the tariffs? Tariffs can only be paid in one of three ways. They are passed upon the consumer, so goods become more expensive. Two, the company pays the tariffs, and in that case, they have less money to invest, they have less money to spend, and they have less money to pay their shareholders because they don't have that money. I suppose it is possible that a country would pay the tariff for individual countries. I've never heard of that, but if that's the case, then what they're doing is taking it from their taxpayers' pockets, because governments don't really make money, they get money from their taxpayers. So now let's talk about the trade deals. There are two which Trump has recently announced, one with Japan and one with the EU. With respect to Japan, he's opened up some of the trade for automobiles in Japan, but Japan does not have the width and size of roads that we do, so the chances of their buying a Ford F-150 or any of our big SUVs is somewhere between slim and none. And that when Trump says that Japan has agreed to invest $500 billion in this country, the Japanese trade negotiators have said to their country there was no such commitment, and if they invest in this country, they will take the profits. They're not just going to invest money here and give the profits to somebody else, and it makes sense. You wouldn't do that either. So that trade deal is really non-existent, and the Japanese trade minister again told their people that there is no solid deal. As far as the EU is concerned, and Trump has announced that there's now a 15% tariff on goods from Europe. I'll come back to that in a moment. But the tariff up until now has been 1.2%. So essentially, he's raised the tariffs on goods from the European Union by something like 10 or 12 times of what it had been. So that will eventually get passed upon to consumers one way or another. But he has kept on the 50% tariffs on foreign steel and aluminum. So if we need to import some of that steel, that cost is now 50%, or aluminum, that cost is 50% higher than it had been. Uh, Trump said that the European Union has agreed to buy $750 billion of energy from the United States. They presently purchase about $64 billion from the United States. And anybody who thinks that's going up tenfold is whistling in the wind, because how are you going to get it? How are you going to transport it? How are they going to download it? How are they going to use it? There's no chance that that's going up by a factor of 10 or 12. So these are some of the realities with respect to tariffs and these alleged trade deals that are Trump is allegedly taking place. Meanwhile, he has suggested that the Scotland and Europe dismantle all of their windmills because he doesn't like the looks of them. He's trying to interfere with their politics the same way he did in Brazil. And today, by the way, it was announced that he was doing away with the regulations with respect to greenhouse gases and exhaust emissions that had been determined years ago were contributing at least to climate change and unhealthy conditions for U.S. citizens. What does he care about that? He doesn't. And but he's doing away with all those regulations, which is probably a terrible thing for our environment.